So as I sit here watching an NBA playoff game, I thought why not bring back Sportscode and chat. So what I'm going to do in this particular video, and what I'm probably going to do in a follow-up, this is not going to be a one part video, there will probably be multiple parts to it, is I'm going to make an output window based on just some random data I'm going to pull and just kind of chat through the process and different things like that. So I've already made output windows, for my, my day job for, NHL, MLS, using those sort of data that we have access to from third parties. So I'm going to make another one in the MLS using soccer data, but this one I'm going to use the actual official event data provider of the MLS, which is STS. I believe the parent company of STS is Sportscode. No, it's not Sport. That's what Huddle used to be. I forget what it's called. Regardless, that's what we're going to import, and that's what we're going to create our output window around. So, file import STS data from the hub. I have an STS login. Here are all the Columbus Crew games from this season so far. And let's go to the Nashville SC game just because it's got 4 goals. Why not? Let's import that. And typically you would import this with the actual game video. I'm just going to use blank video just so I'm focusing on the data and I don't want to get hit by a copyright strike or anything like that. So looking at all this data, we got obviously our 2 teams. Basic stats there, cards, crosses, goals, shots, and then we have like individual player rows. I'm not really sure what's in these player rows, so if we just we'll send our player Aiden Morris here to the sorter. We'll see what we got. I don't think this is particularly helpful, to be honest. There's a lot of everything, so let's get rid of that. Let's just go to the matrix and see what we have. So I know there's going to be a lot of data here, so we've got to kind of be selective of what data that we look at. So we got assists, assist action, assist contribution, assist shot at goal. Oh, we got build up. I guess the build up is like the play start. Pass open play. That seems very. I feel like there would be more instances than that, but carry on. Cards, and then we've got a whole bunch of passing stats around direction, distance, some events. So like penalties, shot at goals, throw in, tackling game for each one of our players, foul type, fouled player, fouler, goalkeeper stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. Pitch marking, player, not broken up into teams. Recipient, a whole bunch of stuff here. Team. I'm probably going to do something with this pass row here later. And then for some reason we have passes also here at the bottom, broken out by player, and also shot at goals, but for some reason only this guy has 2, this guy has 1. That doesn't make any really sense. So what are we going to do with all this data? So at least what my plan is initially is I'm going to try and do some like ranking, and then we'll kind of do some charts maybe, kind of have a player selection, something like that. My goal is to have these players automated, and what I think I'll do is I'll use this team where it says Columbus Crew, and I'm going to use the names that I assume are going to be in this pass row. So player. And I'm going to use these to kind of automate the players that I can select from as like a toggle. And I can ignore all this other stuff. So let's do that. Actually, do we need to keep this open? I guess we don't need to keep that open. So let's go. File, new code window, blank code window. And let's add a button. This is just going to be inactive, and this is going to be the team, and this is going to be Columbus Crew. And I'm going to spice this up a little bit. I'm very finicky about how my buttons look. Anyone who has seen old videos of mine, I want these to look a very specific way, and I'm very finicky about making sure everything kind of is lined up and perfect. So let's go width, height. Here's my Columbus Crew, the button ID of team. Let's create a new window, Columbus Crew logo. Let's bring this logo in. I want a kind of transparent one. Here we go. Oh, delayed there, but we got it eventually. Let's bring that in. It's really big, as typically when you drag logos in. So let's make this smaller. You can drag these and make these smaller evenly by holding down the shift key and dragging from the corner. If you don't hold down the shift key, you know, you can squish and squeeze it, which you don't want to do, but if you hold down shift, you can't. You can only change the size based on its original dimensions. So let's bring that all the way back up here. There we go. So Columbus Crew. And the reason I brought the logo in here, and I need to make this inactive, get rid of the stroke width, the name, all that stuff, is I want to steal the colors from it, because obviously I want to try and use some of these colors in my output window to make it look a little bit more aesthetically coherent with the actual logo. So the way I'm going to do that is using the digital color meter, and using the digital color meter I can take the exact color, for example, of the yellow in the logo. So 100, 84, and 0. 100, 84, and 0. So remember that. Button color 100, 84, 0. And now we have the exact color of the crew. There we go. What I actually might do is I might leave this plain. I need to change the stroke anyway. Let's make that and leave that white and get rid of that. Bring down another button. I didn't need to cut it then. And let's just say this is the primary color. What am I doing? Again, I'm trying to be finicky with what these look like, so actually let's not call that the primary color. Get rid of the button ID. Let's call this color 1. I do want this to be yellow though. There we go. And I want a third one, and this is going to be the color 2. And I want again to steal this. Well, that's not helpful. It's just black. Just black. So that one's just going to be black. I'm going to make it completely black. I'll make it kind of like half black. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put here, actually I'm going to make this gray, because having black and yellow is going to be annoying, because when I try and put like text in these colors later, when I actually start making my window, that'll be a problem, because you know this might have white text, so sorry, black text, so if this also has black text you won't be able to see it. But I'll probably go white text anyway. Yeah, I'll go white text anyway, so anyway. Let's get rid of this. Put that up there. Now you're probably watching this going, what the hell are you doing? And your answer is probably, your question is validated, because I'm not doing anything particularly interesting at this point. I'm setting up just the colors for what I want these to be later, which is not particularly relevant and helpful. Get rid of that. I want to make this font smaller. Secondary color. There we go. And this is going to be the primary color. primary, and then this is the team name. And then we can get rid of this stroke on all of these. There we go, and then we can just have these here lined up. Okay. These ones need to go up a smidge. There we go. So, after all that fluffing about, I have my team name, my primary color, and my secondary color, and all of these have the button IDs that they need to have. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to do my ranking. Now, this is going to take a while because it's going to be a lot of just initial work for an output we're going to have later. But what I want to have essentially is just a big chart here with the players counting their certain basic stats, like maybe pass accuracy, and then I want to rank that pass accuracy or like pass frequency and things like that over here to the right hand side, and then use those outputs, whether it be first, second, or third, or whatever, in an output window later, or in the kind of output later. So what I want to actually do though is I want to automate the players coming into this chart here, because what I don't want to do is that if I want to open up this window, I don't want to have to then open up every single one of these buttons and change the name based on who's playing. If I can just change this team name from, say, like the Columbus Crew to Nashville or something, and then all these names change and all the rankings change and the entire window repopulate, that would be ideal. That's what I want. So I change one thing instead of 14. And looking at that data in the matrix, we can do just that. So that's going to be nice. So let's make this gray. Inactive, this will have a button ID as well. This is just going to be player 01. Get rid of this identifier. The name's not going to be relevant because we're going to change it here in a second. We will make this black. Alrighty, let's go to some scripting. So row equals, and we want to put actually something before this. We want to go team equals hashtag, and my button ID of this team here was just quite literally team. So here I want to put row is team, where row equals, where do I want to equal this? I want to find this pass row because I know all the players are going to be in there. So Columbus Crew pass. So what we actually need to do is also call this, let's call this subject equals button name team equals plus pass. You'll see here I just identified just Columbus Crew, and here I had to use this syntax of button name and then without the hashtag team plus pass. I think there's probably a way to add pass as a suffix using this hashtag, but I kind of need both these variables anyway because this team is going to be in the initial part of this row and then the subject's going to be at the end. So subject string equals unique string, and then I'm going to do a little bit of this. So unique string allows me to pull out unique labels within a row. I just have to identify the row and the group. The row I've just identified as row. I need to identify the group, which I know is player, and then I need to find the first unique label. Then I'm going to put, I could just put rename string and it'll give me that player name, but I don't know how many players are going to play in this game. You might have, they might not use any of their subs. They might just have 11 players or something like that. So that's not likely, but I want to take that into account. So what I'm going to put here instead is if string equals nothing, rename just a dash, rename string. There we go. So that should be all the scripting I need to kind of automate it. I press execute, and then we've got Darlington Nagby here. Now I'm probably just going to check, just to be really safe, that Darlington Nagby is a crew player, which he is. I mean, he should be. I'm looking for him in the row of the crew. I just want to make sure there wasn't any sort of error there. So what I need to do now is I need to repeat this 15 times and change the button ID, and also change just this one number here from 1 to 2. So let's do that. I'm a big fan of this unique string, the unique string syntax. It's really good in basketball for like identifying play calls, or sometimes lineups if you have the correct lineups labeled in your data. But it's also good to automate things like this. So I'm going to go and change all the scripting first, then I'll go back and change the button IDs. 8, 9. Let me know in the comments if you think these random sports code and chats are interesting or helpful. I like to do it just to have something to do. I think it's fun. So let's press execute. So, you know, how many players played in this game? We had 13 players in this game, and I have kind of like 3 spares. I don't know how many subs you're actually allowed in soccer now. I know obviously back in the day you only had 3 subs, but I actually don't know how many subs you're allowed in the MLS in 2024. How many subs can you have in the MLS? 5. 5? Goodness. So you can have 16 players. So good thing I went all the way to 16. 5 seems excessive. What happened to the good old days of just having 3? Well, now I have to go back through and add these, or change these button IDs to player 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. These button IDs, you'll see I've added a button ID essentially to every button at this point. These button IDs are going to be important because that's what we use to reference these names, and since the names could be changing depending on you know, what team is selected over here, I want to be able to you know, have these automate the rest of the window. And we'll have a look at that soon, what that looks like. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now, in theory, when I change this up here to Nashville SC, these names should all change to the roster, which they do, to all 16 players. So that's cool, that's automated that process for us. What I might do though is just make these longer, because obviously you might have a player that's got a longer name. Alrighty. Next thing is we need to add our stats. So what I'm going to do is just add this here. Just so everything lines up. Make this, how big do we want to make this box here? 30 will be good. Make the background white. Show the output and not the name. Get rid of the actual name. Get rid of the button ID. This one needs to be actually its own button ID. So let's go pass underscore 01. Let's go back to the output, give it a default of nothing, and change this to light. Is this light 11? It's a light 11, so we want to make this light 11 as well. Alrighty, and this is going to be the passes. So what I'm going to put here is just P. Actually, I don't want to do pass. Pass is a bit basic. And just because you might have 100 passes doesn't mean they were good passes. So let's do instead. Also, why is this going back to yellow? I need to get rid of that scripting. So let's, instead of doing passes, let's do pass accuracy or pass success. That makes more sense, at least in my mind. This one needs to show the name. There we go. So to get the pass accuracy of a player, let's look at how we could do that. So let's go Darlington Nagbe. Probably butchering that pronunciation. And we have here the distance. We have evaluation. Don't know what that means. And we have the recipient. And we have these passes. So we're going to be looking for the label pass. Are they genuinely... Oh my goodness. Look at all these flipping columns. There's how many columns? There's 142 columns, including X, Y, for nothing in particular. Unless these are just columns that are hiding because there's nothing actually interesting in them. Anyway, we can see that our columns are going to be unsuccessful and successfully completed. So that's going to give us our passing accuracy. So let's do that. In fact, I'm going to delete this sorter and reopen it so I don't have to have all that crap. Yeah, 9, 11, 13, 20 kind of jumps between the ones where there's actually nothing in them. So let's go. Back here. Alrighty, so we first need to identify the player's name, so we can just do that using the button ID that we just added. Show count. No, we're doing the percentage. So successful equals count successfully completed. I believe there's a lowercase c where row equals name. Successfully completed and pass. I think you could only have this successfully completed label when there was a pass to begin with, but we'll just add it there just for best practice. Total, and we just need to count the amount of passes. So let's just, for the sake of knowing that we actually have some data here, let's go show total. So we had 63 passes, show successful passes. He had 61 successful passes. So we're expecting like 95 or something success rate here. So let's go percentage equals round, and we've got our equation here has 3 things in it. So we're going to do 3 things here, and I'm just going to leave the percentage sign off. And the reason we want to hide the percentage sign is because it'll ruin some of our scripting later. So he had a 96% or 97% if we want to round up successful pass rate. That's good. Now we just have to repeat that again so many times. But before I do that, I think what I'll do instead is do the rest of the stats, because then we can find and replace the stats instead. So we'll do that. Alrighty, what other stats do we want to actually pull out of this information? So let's go shot at goal. Let's go shot. Do we just have shot? Does it have to be a shot at goal? Cross? I don't really care about crosses. Tackling. What do we have in tackling? Corner kick. That's all assisting though. I mean, we could look at specific type of passes, but I mean the only interesting one there would be through ball, and how many through balls a player had. Also, I don't know why there's successful and successfully completed, unless, you know, especially since our guy here, Darlington, only had one successful pass. I wonder if that's... I don't see the goalkeeper's name here, so I wonder if that's something to do with goalkeeper. So, corner kicks. Tackling game. Is that just a tackle? What does that mean? What do we got here? Maybe I'll just rank 2 specific stats just to keep my workload low. I also just want shot. I don't know why shot is such a hard stat to come by. STS data, not ideal if it doesn't just have shot. It just has shot at goal, but not shot. What about shots not at goal? What if they miss? That's what I want. Well, what we'll do then, I guess we'll do tackle. Let's see, tackle defending and tackle attacking, which is kind of bizarre that they've got 2. Let's see what's in the sorter here. Maybe I'll just do contests or something like that. I mean, you do possession change. Let's just do amount of times they've been in a tackle. It's not overcomplicated. So, and shot at goal. Let's just look at shot on goal. So let's go. This will be shot. And let's copy our scripting from here that we've already got. Let's go row equals button name team plus. So I forget, and I don't really want to go back and look if there's the label shot and goal on the player row, but instead I'm just going to essentially look for the player in the team row. And again, since the team can be used with this button ID, I don't have to be too concerned about having to actually script in the actual team name. So, how many shot and goals does this player have? Show count name where row equals row. Ooh. This guy might just have 0. We had 3. 3? There's barely any. There was only what? How many shot and goals? 10, and he had 3 of them. Where's the player? Well, I guess he did. Well, he had 1. Oh, it might be like in the assister. Yeah. Yeah, there he is. So we want to look at just the guy taking the actual shot. So to do that, we need to identify the group. Just have to add one word. Player. Colon. Name. Now this will go down to 1. So there's our shots. We either give this the button ID of shot 1. And we'll do tackle. I don't really understand why there's tackle defending and tackle attacking, and what the difference between those is. Winning team. Let's do winning tackles. We could do like tackle percentage. So let's do that. We'll do tackle percentage on both the attacking and defending. Oh, actually probably will need that, so let's open this up again. I guess this will be not complicated, but this will have to be the most scripting that we do for any of these. So name, I need to identify the team equals hashtag team. Then we need to do row attacking, spotter name, and this is called Columbus Crew tackle attacking. Make sure that I've got that lowercase a. Sportscode doesn't like it when you change the caps. So tackle attacking, row defense, tackle defending. And now what we need to do is identify all the tackles the player was in and then all the tackles that he won. So it's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass just because there's two different rows I have to do this in. So let's do this in the attacking ones first. So we want to say win equals count winner team and we want that to be team and name, so the player, where row equals this. Repeat that again for the other side. And we want to make this win 2. And that means we want to make all wins equal win underscore 1 plus win underscore 2. And now we just need to get the total amount of tackles that this guy was in that he may not have won. So also what I probably need to do is I probably need to identify that this is in the player row. So let's do that, player. I forget the difference between the colon and just using the period as when you're using this group. I think the period, one of them looks at every time the label is in the instance and the other one looks at every instance with the label. That's not going to be really relevant for this example because the player's name is just going to show up once anyway. So total overscore 1, 2, total 1, 2, and we just want to look at every time the player was in the tackle. So let's get rid of the winner aspect of it. And then here I can do my normal script here of equal so I just want to double check my work that I've actually got all the total tackles that this guy would be in. So every time that this player was in a tackle divided by their win. So I can only see him once. So this should be 100%. Yeah, so 100%. There we go. Make this tackle in terms of the button ID. And we're good. So time to actually now copy and paste this logic all the way down, and I have to change O1 to O2. Now, hopefully, oh, actually, maybe I messed up here. Not in a bad way. Maybe, yeah. Let's just change this. So let's go win, and I want to get rid of the underscore. And you'll see why we get rid of the underscore here in a second, because that's going to make our lives easier when we do our old find and replace. There we go. The result will be the same. But what I want to do now is I can just find and replace underscore O1, because that will change it there, we'll change it there, we'll change it there, but also change it here, and here, and here. So I can just change underscore O1 to underscore O2 and do that 15 times to get 16 results. So let's copy and paste these three things here, open up a new code window, paste it in, find and replace underscore O1 with underscore O2, and let's do that a whole bunch more. Even when you do little tips and tricks in Sportscode to lessen the amount of scripting you have to do, I mean, unfortunately there's going to be some times where you just have to brute force the work, as I'm doing here, where I'm swapping numbers for one other number and copying and pasting that in. But once you do it once, obviously you save the window, you don't have to do that particular thing again. So I probably am going to have to do something like this again soon, when we actually get into the ranking part of it, because this is going to act as both a like a little chart, just as like a reference, but also what I'm going to use to rank. And to rank everything, I need the actual numbers to exist in the first place. So that's what we're doing now. Let's check our work. So these are the pass percentages, these are the shots, and this is the tackle percentages. So 100% for Yevhen Shevchenko. Boy, and that's not going to be an easy one to say. And I can see his name there, saying that he did in fact have a tackle. I'm saying to think that ranking these. Oh no, let's not make it overcomplicated. Let's just leave it at 0. I was going to say, what if a player had a tackle, didn't win it, and hence they were 0, but then also someone who didn't make any tackle attempts is also a 0. Do we want to differentiate those? And I mean, we probably could, but we're not going to. What I'd probably do in that situation is I'd make the person who kind of failed the tackle 0, and then the people who had never attempted a tackle like -99 or something. Make them like a large negative number. So 10. That was number 10. I just want to make sure that I'm at 10 so I didn't miss a number. Find and replace is a lifesaver for sure when you do a lot of scripting, because it can make things so much quicker. So if you make like a box score, instead of having to go through the entire thing and change numbers or names, find and replace can allow you to change an entire row of the box score instantly. And especially if you just do my little technique here of having this little separate window as your like dummy window that you're just constantly find and replacing it, and then just copy and paste it into the original window, you can get a lot done very quickly. So I'm almost done here. I've got only a few more to go. This Sportscode and chat's kind of like ASMR Sportscode at this point. Watching me do scripting for probably what's going to be a while. I've already probably put God knows how many analysts to sleep just talking about scripting. But hey, it's the good stuff. So execute, got all of our stats here, and now we want to rank these amongst the players. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of this. Actually, I'm just going to copy the one, paste it. Let's just copy that here, and let's just put P, and let's put a little lowercase r to indicate that this is the ranking. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start at the very bottom. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to call this rank. Actually, that's a good point. Let's do, before we do this, let's get to all of this. And here we got pass, 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 pass. So what I want to do is I want to go find and replace the word pass with the word pass, and then underscore. I'm going to put rank. And I want to look at this just in the button IDs, so I don't mess anything else up in the scripting. So now we've got pass, rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is what I want. I will leave that dummy window there. And before we actually go further, let's just quickly save my code window. I'll rename it later. Just want to make sure I save my progress. So let's go into the scripting here. Already got my button ID. And this is going to be kind of like the ranking script that we do. It's going to be something a little bit different. So first thing I want to do is identify the number. I might have to reference some of my other windows here to remember what the scripting is for this, but we'll do our best. So number, and I want to reference, pass 16. When you have that @ symbol, you're referencing the output of a button ID. Where you have hashtag, you're referencing the name. Every button kind of has like 3 different ways to identify the button ID, the output, or the name, and here we're referencing kind of like the output of the button, which in this case is 0, but there will be obviously a different number when we start getting up this column further. So I'm going to say that rank equals 0, and here we're going to have 16 if statements. So I'm going to say if number is larger than, or is it smaller than? Let's go larger than at pass underscore 1, rank equals rank plus 1. And I might need to check whether that is what I'm doing, just to be safe. Rank is smaller than. I need to put button. Rank equals rank plus 1. You know what we're going to do? Let's just steal. Let's just steal this. The button, and then instead of the @ should do the same thing, so I'm not too concerned about that, but we'll see if this works, and if this doesn't work, then we'll just swap it with button, but there should be no reason it doesn't work. So I now need to copy this 16 more times. So let's go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then I can quickly go down this column and change these. That's the reason I just went to 10, because once you get to 10, you can just go now 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and again, you can just change the one number. So there we go. Now I'm just going to click execute. Yeah, so it's failing down here, which is fine, but it didn't fail me anywhere up here, which is kind of what I wanted. So now we're going to go adjustment, also equals 0, and here we're going to put what am I doing? If number equals equals at pass underscore 01 adjustment equals adjustment plus 1. The reason for this is that obviously you're going to have times where the number is going to be the same number. So if we want to give that its own unique rank, we can just say, okay, if it equals this number, just add plus 1 to it. So even if it is the same number, we can still have unique rankings. If that makes sense. So we need to do this 16 more times as well. And I forget why, but you delete one of these adjustment rows for every button that you go up the column. That's why we start at the bottom, because we're going to do all the scripting first, and then we can delete things when we go up instead of adding things. And then we just want final equals the rank plus the adjustment show final. So this should be 16th, which is right. Oddly enough, it didn't. There we go. So we didn't need to put button, we could just use at, which is good. And now we just need to copy this workflow for the other 15 buttons. So what I can do is go copy, and let's just paste it all into, well, we can't paste it onto all of these. But we can. Let's do a little sneaky copy and paste. And now we can go into these and then copy and paste this all in. There we go. So now I can just go, this is 15, and we just delete one of the adjustments. And I believe we delete the adjustment for the purpose of saying, well, we want it to be unique, so we don't want to keep adding adjustments. And if we have that additional line, it will add one to that adjustment, and therefore make it the same number as another one. So you can probably tell by the way I'm describing this, I didn't come up with this little scripting technique, and I'll be the first person to tell you that. This was shown to me by a very smart colleague of mine at Huddle in Europe. It's the best thing about working at Huddle is that you're always surrounded by really smart people who know a lot more about things than you do. So I learn a lot more from my colleagues than I ever would outside of Huddle, which is always nice. If you're a customer or if you're a Sportscode user watching this and you want to be also, learning a lot more from smarter people, I will emphasize that Huddle does have an implementation team, and Sportscode customers do have infinite amounts of trainings with the implementation team. So you can contact your sales rep and say, I want a training with my implementation rep, I want to get better, and they can connect you with that person. I work with our customers here in the US in professional sports, so our NBA, NHL, and MLS teams. So that's what I do for those customers, is help them get better. I have a bit of a cough now. Alrighty. So we've gone up this pretty quickly, and that's because I did all the scripting at the beginning and I'm just having to delete script, which makes things a lot easier. Deleting script is a lot easier than writing script, as you can imagine. Gonna take a sip of water. And obviously, if you have any questions about anything that we looked at today, don't hesitate to put them in the comments. I'll probably just connect you with an implementation rep for your market, especially if you're in Europe. I don't obviously deal with Europe, or if you're in like Australia, New Zealand way, I don't deal with those customers because I live in America. in which case I can obviously, you know, probably handle the questions myself. So here we go. Here's our rankings. Now you'll see here, this is here ranked number 1, 96.8. And we can check our work. Has anyone got higher than 96.8? No. So who's number 2? This goes number 2, 97. Sorry, 95.7. Where's number 3? 94.5. That makes sense. So I'm not going to check all of them, but I can see that this looks relatively accurate. So now let's copy and paste that to be, let's copy and paste it into here. First thing I need to do is change the button ID. So let's go from pass rank to shot rank. And there we go. And I should be able to just copy and paste one thing, because you'll see here it's just got pass underscore. So we just want to change that to shot underscore, because I think that was the button ID we looked at. Yep. So let's go pass underscore to shot underscore, and we just want to look in the button scripts. Oh boy, that's a lot of results. So let's see if that broke anything. No, it doesn't look like it did. So let's go back up here. Let's make this S. Copy and paste that back in. And let's just be brave and do the other one without even checking the shots to see if that worked. So let's make this T. And let's make this shot rank into shot rank into tackle underscore rank. And let's change all of our shot underscores to tackle underscores. 480 again, that's good. And let's copy and paste it back in. So number 1, he had the most shots. Who's number 1 tackles? This guy, 100%. And everyone else is going to fill in, even if it is just like zeros. You know, they're going to fill in the rest of the ranking. So now I have my count, I have my rank, and now we can actually do some cool stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this quote unquote off screen over here. And I'm going to essentially copy and paste this over here. I do kind of want to make these bigger, but I don't know if I want to bother. I also want to add, like, I want to make these the color of the primary color here. So what I need to do is go into each one of these individually. I need to change the button ID though, because otherwise that will be confusing. So where'd that go? There it is. Let's change this from player to, let's go roster. Just the button IDs. Should be 16 results. They are. There we go. And let's actually, oh no, cancel. Let's look at the scripting of this. Aha. Look at this. This is going to be a little tricky one here. So let's go that. And what I actually want to do is what am I doing? I'm going to go to there. There we go. Okay. We got there in the end. Find 16. There we go. So now these will all be yellow. What? Why are they dark? that a bug? Why is this color 1 so... What if I just make this a random color? What if I make this a random color? It's weird. For some reason it's adjusting to my color 2 instead of my color 1, despite the fact that in the scripting I have color 1. That is very bizarre. What if I just delete that and change the color? That doesn't make any sense. So let's save this. Hard quit Sportscode. I don't care about that. Open up my code window again. Oh, now it works. Okay, so that's just a quick weird bug there that we quickly resolved by turning it off, turning it back on. The famous solution to everything. So what I do want to do though is make these bigger. So I want to make these probably like 28 height. I probably want to make these 175 long, and I want to make the font a little bit bigger. Not that big. There we go. So I just have to adjust these players here to be lined up. I feel like that's too big. Let's go. I think we might have been at 22 already, or were we smaller? We were smaller. 22 already. Let's go 12. There we go. Okay, now I'm happy. Because what I want to be able to do is select one of these players and essentially like the stats populate for that selected player. That's the goal. So let's do this. Bit of that. And now I just have to line up all these names. I also need to change their button type from code button to toggle button. And I also need to send an exclusive link between all of these. There we go. Let's change these to a toggle button. And then I also need to add a exclusive link. So now I can just select a player. Alrighty. Now I'm going to add a little bit of a aesthetic element to this as well. I'm going to say this is going to be button color 2. And essentially it's going to have this behind it. It's like a little aesthetic element. Make this 3 and change it to black. I'm going to make this lighter just so we can see the grey a bit better. Yeah, so you can see kind of like a little bit of colour change there. And obviously you can change that depending on the team, based on what colour you want. So here's my little player selection here. Now I want to have now a code button that I'm going to turn into a action button, and I'm going to have this show the output. We'll come and deal with this later. But I want to have the count, and then I'm going to have like the rank. So here's going to be the count of the amount of passes. So let's go. How do we calculate the passes over here? Let's just take all that. That's pass success though, so this will be pass success. Before we get to that though, we're going to have to select the name equals, nope, if button roster underscore 01 state equals 1, name equals roster, name equals nothing. So to have that syntax once. That's not right. Underscore 1. Unfortunately, and you will have to do this once as well. It's just basically saying, depending on who I select over there on the right, change the stat here to the left. No, sorry, the other way around. Well, I change to the right, change to the left, change to the right. There we go. Alrighty. Look at that. There we go. That's what I want. Change the aesthetics of that here in a second. So what I also want to do now is take this. And what do I want to do here? If, player roster 1 is pushed down, show pass rank 01. That's what I want to do. So get rid of this. Everything up to here. We'll go rank equals pass rank underscore 1. Rank equals nothing. Is that allowed? That's allowed. I could just do the show command in the script here, so like if this equals 1, show the rank, but I want to be a little bit fancier than that, so what I'm going to do instead is something else. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I want to say is if rank equals 1, show first, a show rank plus st. obviously for these are the ones I want to show what they would put. Third and second. Since we don't go up to like 21st or anything like that, we only go to 16th, so everything else is just going to be show rank. Yeah, actually I'll need to add. Show rank plus th. Alrighty. My first error. What have we done wrong? So if rank equals 1, cannot compare strings to numbers. I mean, I don't think it counts as a string though. That's what I don't really understand. Alrighty, we'll see what happens. Yeah, so that looks stupid. Not available, you know, th. So I'm going to add one more. If rank equals na, show na. I don't want to show anything else. There we go. So that did not work. What have we done wrong? So it shows me the rank, but I add that suffix on the end of like first, second, or third. So I want to say if rank equals 1, etc., etc. So what's the correct phrasing? If rank so it seems to change that just fine. If rank equal 1, show rank plus first, and change the color back. Saying here I can't compare strings to numbers, so it's identifying this as a number, and I'm saying show the number plus something else. I've done this before in another window, so let's check that one. Boop. Alrighty. So I had to separate it. I see. So rank equals 1, Suffolk Eagles first. Suffolk Eagles third. So let's go 2, 3 NA. Nothing. Third. Second. Show rank plus suffix. What have I done now? I just need to change this to being, stop being fancy. So now we have this appropriately presenting. Alrighty, let's do some change the aesthetics now. This is the easy part. So Helvetica, light, 14. Let's make these 85, 28. Let's go 25. So these can both be white. Stroke color is going to be light grayish. And let's make it darker. Not that dark. And this will probably be the last thing I do before I end it for today. God knows how long this has been going for. Maybe I need it darker. 20. And we want to make this color 1 and the background black. Last button, and it will be done for today. Shot and tackle. Alrighty. See, that's right. First, second, first. So we go to like Jason Russell Rowe. 11th, 1st, 8th, and this will change dynamically with each player. Now we just have to add the count, but that'll be us for this window. So that's where I'm going to close it off. I appreciate you watching, and I'll come back with the rest of the window in a separate video. Welcome back to part 2 of Sportscode and Chat. So this is where we left off. We did our little ranking table over here, and we set up this toggle over here to select a player for this little chart here. So let's keep going. So what I actually want to do is I want to create another one here, and I want to put this as it's just going to be the event name. I want to put that in capitals. I want to give this an overall title of something. Let's go key performance indicators, KPIs, and let's make this color 1. And let's make this text black. Now, I don't promise to make these videos exciting because it's just me yapping on about Sportscode for God knows how long, so we're just making this output window as we go. Seems like it's a different font to these other ones. What font is this? 12? There's no way that's font 12, and that's also 12. Anyway, I was also going to look at what does this look like with a different stroke color. That looks terrible. Let's go. This also looks terrible, so I think I might just stay with that. Alrighty. So we've got our pass rate here, and I'm actually going to remove the colors from this and make these gray. We've got our rank. So now we need to do shots on goals and tackle win rate for each one of these players. So that should be easy. Let's go here. Now the shot on goal, I believe, is what's the called, shot at goal. So we're looking for the player in the row shot at goal. So let's just take all of this, come back over here, do a little bit of that. So we don't need that. We're going to look for, yep, that should be all right. And let's just add another show command for the video. Now who had the most shots on goal? Jason Russell Rose, so let's select him. 2, that's right, 2 videos, that's correct. Now let's do tackle win rate. So let's again, our friend, copy paste. And the scripting for tackle win rate was, oh boy, all of this. So let's copy all of that, paste it down here. Now get rid of the name because the name is already defined. And I just need to make sure the scripting will make sense, which it does look like it will make sense. Though we do need video for this as well. We presently have no video, so what I might need to do is come in here, add a little break here, and let's go movie 01 equals yeah. There's probably easier ways to do this in terms of just saving scripting space, but we're just going to do it the long way, because why not? You know, a good way you can save on scripting is instead of having these count commands everywhere, if you just include the count command in like this final percentage calculation, that way you can use the same variables also for the video, but we're not going to do that. So who had some tackles? Sean Sadowski. There we go. And then we get the videos of those tackles, ideally. No? Oh, I didn't do the show command. Show movie 01 or movie 02. Here we go. Now we get the video when we press this button. Ideally, when we select a player, need to do that first. There we go. And we got the 2 buttons. So defending, where is he? There he is. So we've got our key performance indicators chart here. Now the kind of next chart I want to make is I want to create a chart for if I select a player. So let's just say I select Aidan Morris. I want to create a chart that shows me every other player he's passed to and also how often. I'm not going to rank those because that would just be too much kind of more back-end work, like we did all this back-end work over here. So it's just kind of going to be in any random order, just probably this order, because I'll just copy this chart. But that's the end goal. So I select a player and then it'll populate with all the times he passed to someone else on the team. So let's just copy my chart here just for formatting reasons. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go pass frequency chart. And to be honest, we could also make this an actual chart, like an actual bar graph. Maybe I'll kind of do that as well. But I was also wanting like the success rate. So like it's going to have all the names here, how many times he passed to them in this column, and then the success rate in this column. So we could do both. We could do like both a like a basic kind of like, you know, numerical chart and then also a bar chart. So that's what we'll do. So let's go, this will be player name, this will be count, and then this will be success rate. Alrighty, so we have a lot of copy and paste. So we already have these players are populating from all the people that have passed. This is doing the same thing. So what I'm just going to do is just going to copy this roster here. I don't know why didn't I do that over here? Anyway, let's go. This will be, because we only want to populate with the players he actually did pass to. So what we're going to look at is if we go to his row, we want to identify the row. Actually, we want to identify the player first. So we need to do all of this, and it's going to be row equals name. No, the name's going to be at the end. Yeah, so it's going to be pass where row equals name. So they'll pull every pass that, for example, Aidan Morris has done, which we can see here. That's the label. So to double check that I have the capitals or the things right there. So pass where row equals name, and then I'm going to do my favorite unique string. Unique string is going to be row, and then the just need to keep this sorter open so keep going back to it. So we have the recipient, that's the group I want. Recipient, comma 1, and then I need to say if string equals nothing, rename, just a dash, rename string. There we go. So now, in theory, I should get, when I select Aidan Morris, for example, this is the first player he's passed it to. So what I can then do is come here, let's say the count, the amount of times he's passed it to this player. So this will need to be, let's just go RO1 for recipient 01, and let's say we want to identify recipient. How do you spell recipient? That's embarrassing. Recipient equals, and then it's going to be R_01. So I want to say count, show count. Not going to bother. Recipient where row equals name, and then I just want to get the video of that as well. So now I will have the 11 times Aidan Morris has passed it to Edmondson, and we can look at that in the sorter. So all of Aidan Morris's passes to this player. You can see the events, and then what I want to do in this next one is do the success rate. So let's copy and paste all of this, and then I want to count recipient and successfully completed. This will be the total, and get rid of that. And this will be show round. There's not going to be any video with this one, so 100. So now in theory, when I select him, it should be 100% success, which when we looked at in the sorter, I saw that they were all in fact successful. So now I need to basically go through, and I don't know if it's even worth using find and replace. So let's just do 1, and let's just go in here and go 2, 2, 2, and 2. So this one's also 100%, so let's make sure that we're actually correct. That is 100%. It even includes free kicks and throw-ins. Just seeing if there's any other relevant data like the height. I don't think the height really matters. The distance, I don't know if that matters either. I mean, we could, if we wanted to, illustrate in a chart like what percentage of these were short or long or medium passes. But we might just create a chart for that separately, just to illustrate that. So we just have to copy that process possibly 11 more times. And I don't know if it's worth doing this in find and replace, just because I have to change 2 variables anyway, the button ID and also the limit function. So let's just do it the old-fashioned copy and paste way. So this will be 4, so I have to change that, and then this. So I can't really find, well, I could find and replace. I would have to do 2 find and replaces, which I don't know if it's quicker to do that or just what I'm doing now. Five. Find and replace is a wonderful thing, but unfortunately it can't work in every context. Well, it would work in this context, it's just going to be slower. 6, 6. So let's see what we've got so far. So he's just got 100% to every player, even this guy, with 19 passes. So let's just double check again. And yep, 100%. All from open play. Let's keep going. We're at 6. So let's go 7. Not sure how many of these we'll need to do. I guess he's passed it possibly to every player once on the team, so let's just go with that assumption and do it to 11 players and see what we get to. But we might need to do it for more in case he's passed it to any of the subs. He had 5 subs, so as we found out on the last video. Nine. Now I'm obviously not doing any sort of like direct education in these videos. I'm hoping that anything that you learn, you just learn by, picking something up that I do as I, speed run through the scripting here. I say speed run, but the last video was like an hour and 15 minutes, and we really didn't end up with that much of a final product. So these things still take time, but ideally once you do it once, as we're doing here, like this would work on any Columbus Crew game, but we also figured out if we change this name here and the colors, it would also work for any other team. So we've still got players populating in the 11th row here. We got a player with 90% finally, so this one will be one unsuccessful pass. In fact, it's something else entirely. So this is an assist. It's like a chance. Why is this pulled through though? Because this is not a, there's no pass here. Unless it's got pass in another label group. No. Righty, let's bring this back. Let's have a look at the scripting for this then. So count recipient where row equals name. So what I probably need to do is put count and then put in here the group recipient as well as the player's name, because clearly this is pulled through because his name is in here somewhere else. Where is it? Yeah, assist, shot at goal. So his name is there. So it's just pulling that name instead of pulling the name over here where I want it from. So this will be a find and replace moment. Let's take all of this. And I want to put here the name and also there as well. So wherever I've got the phrase recipient, $ recipient, oh no, because I can't put it there either, so let's just put it here. Still struggling with spelling this name. There we go. So let's see if that did what I wanted it to do. Yep, and I just have to do it here as well. Let's make sure I get that show command in there as well, otherwise it would do it for all the other ones again. So still 11 times. There we go. Copy and paste this in. Now when I go back to Aiden Morris, this player here, oh, that's not good, and I'm just getting zeros. Wow, I spelled it wrong. That's terrible. That's terrible. So P is recipient. That's terrible. So now, there we go. Well, we've still got 100% across the board. I need to check whether this guy missed any, had any bad passes, but we need to just complete a couple more rows here. I kind of go until I get an empty slot, because that at least tells me I've reached the max, but that might be 15, so let's go to 15. Well, it would have to be 14 because it would be him, he would be included in the 15, so 13. 14, and the button ID needs to be 14 as well. So what do we got? So we've still got all 14 slots filled, so I think that's every player. We've got 2 players here that have 0, so again, let's just make sure our, yeah, so unsuccessful. And let's just be safe, let's just do a 15th player, and I don't think anything will come of this, just because you can only have 15 players overall, but let's see what happens. Oh, I didn't change the script. Yeah, so we'll just cap it off at 14 because that's the amount most you can have anyway. So now that we have that, got a nice little pass chart there, and that will depend on which player we select. Well, this will populate. What we might add now is like a little chart here to show the success of not the passes, but the sorry, we'll do the length. Let's do pass length. So let's do chart, and again for the 18,000th time, I'm going to open these passes up in a sorter. Said 93 passes. That's a lot of passes. Just wanted to see what these were called again. So short, medium, long. Seems like those are the only 3 options: long, medium, short. For some reason they only labeled, what's it, 6 passes with a direction. Seems odd. The height, I don't really care about the height. From open play, don't really care about that. Side, for some reason, again, they only tag 2 passes from a side. Don't really understand the logic of that. So let's just do the distance. Short, medium, long. This will need to be, this will be a stacked bar, but because how these charts work is that they don't really populate unless you have scripting. So I always do like the scripting first before I mess with any of like the visualization settings. So let's do, what am I doing? I need to get this here again. I'm going to use this like in every script. So here we need to put short equals short, can't spell, short, and pass where row equals name. And the reason I didn't put count is because I want to use this variable for both the video and the count. Show you what I mean here in a second. Long, long, here comes my chart scripts, chart. So I want to put count short. I want to put no name because I'm going to use my own like little legend because I think that looks better. I want to put the color as color 1, and I want to show the video of short. So now I just need to do that process 2 more times. Medium, long, long, medium, and I want to make this color 2, and I want to make this color in the middle here. Let's just make it generic gray. So 70, 70, 70. See what we get. This will be really ugly to begin with. Yep, super ugly. I might make this gray lighter, but I know the scripting works. So let's make this lighter and put it as 85, 85, 85. And let's change some of these settings. So I don't want either axis name. I don't want the values at all. I just want the visualization of it. And I want to give it the name. So I don't want to show the name of pass length. I want to bring this to the top, but I need to move it around first. That did nothing. So let's go there again. Something's wrong with my naming, my little box there, so I'm going to save this, hard quit, open it up again. And I'm actually going to pause our session there as well. Alrighty, so we're back for a short moment while my dinner cooks. So you'll see it's been a couple of days, and I'm going to pause this here in a moment and start again, but we were doing the pass length for short, medium and long. Here we go. And I believe we did actually get a result. We did not get a result. It's because we need to select a player, that's why. So what did we get to? We got to, there we go. So a couple of things I want to do here. Obviously I want to change the name. Remember, this was bugging out last time, but I think that's just because yeah, I don't know why it's not letting me change the name. It's very odd. Helvetica Light. Don't know what's going on with that, so let's just do the old copy. Maybe this is just, it's just being a bug. Delete, paste. Alrighty, there we go. Here's my chart. And let's now try this again. Let's try and do the name. Working this time. The old turn it off, turn it back on. Worked again. Let's make this pass. Everything's in caps, so let's go pass length. And we want this to be a stacked bar. We want neither of the axis names. We don't want the values, the data points, or any of that. We want to make sure that this is the correct length, but we want actually the we want the actual name of the chart to be at the top, and we want this to be the exact same length as this. And one thing I'm actually going to do, looking at some of my other output windows the last couple of days, is I want to make the stroke size of these 1. I think it just looks better. Having done that, you'll see kind of how broken some of my lines are here, so we're going to fix these. Aesthetics are important. Well, not really, but they're important to me, so we're going to focus on it. Even though my windows objectively aren't the prettiest things, but I try. There we go. This is now way off. So let's make this 2 bigger. And these here will need to be all correct. There we go. And now we need to do the same with this. I've always been a fan of lighter fonts. I think it just looks better. It's not even straight. We'll get to that here in a second. If you're a Sportscode user watching this and you're like, oh man, I wish I could make output windows for my sport, I will emphasize, and I don't know if I've even said this in this video, but you can actually, if you reach out to your Huddle sales rep, we have implementation consultants worldwide, and you do have unlimited amounts of free consultations with them. So I work with a bunch of teams here in the US, and I work with them a lot when they want help. We jump on Zoom calls and we walk through scripting as to script whatever they want. There's no like additional cost there. If you have Sportscode, you have consultations with our implementation team. So I definitely recommend you make the most of those. So now what we have is we select a player and we get the stats and then the pass length. Now one thing I'll need to do is what I want to do is I want to create a key, because I don't like having the names of the variables on the chart. I like to have the variables kind of separated in like a separate key. So that's what I'm going to do. First I need to see how long this is. No, I don't. Let's just go, here we go. This will be the first one. Let's get rid of this. 25, 25. And this is color 1. This is color 2. And this is going to be color 85, 85, 85. And what I'm going to have next to these is just a little thing to say short. And this will be 100 long. No, let's not do that long. Let's do 75. Even that might be excessive. Don't nail this. Not even close. So maybe these a bit shorter. Doesn't need to be perfect, since it's just going to be the key. Put this in the middle. There we go. This will be medium. And this will be long. Obviously these are all yellow still, so I just need to make sure the scripting is non-existent. Make them white. Get rid of the lines around them. Move them one across. And we should be good. So now here we go, we've got our little thing to say what these equal. I was going to move these down a little bit so they're not in the way. There we go. Now, what do we do next? So we've got our players, we've got their passes, who they pass to, some basic KPIs. What we might do now is just identify like who's taking the corners and who's taking the free kicks. And things like that. So we'll do like actually, what I might do instead is I might just have, this might be all the player section. One thing I'm going to do is take all these buttons here and get rid of the name. What I might do is, so this is like the player section over here to the left, and then I might do a team section to the right. So players, and then we can do team. So let's do some basic team stats, like let's do corners, goals, shots, free kicks, things like that. Do we even have corners? We do have corners. What sort of information do we have in corners? Evaluation. Event, height. So this would be like another word for short, I assume. Placing, play origin, well that's obvious, post marking, recipient, rotation, away from goal, so that's going to be like an outswinger, side, target area. That's all very interesting information that we should definitely make the most of. I want to know what this corner looks like. I don't have the video on me, but it's distance, medium, height, flat. So we might just ignore the height. We might do the distance though. I assume there's a short option. Let's see how many corners they had. They had 4 corners. They all were high corners. I wonder if it's best to do like just a total amount of... How do we do corners? I wonder if we do like a basic chart here, like something like this that says in swinger, out swinger, you know, success rate, how many corners, obvious things like that. And then after that we do like something similar to this where we do kind of like a frequency chart, but instead of frequency we kind of just do like a log of all the corners. So a coach could be like, oh, I see this corner was from the right hand side and it went to this player, let me watch that one. That's what we'll do. So, and then we'll do something later around like identifying that this is the difference between like player and team. Okay, we might just do that now. So let's get this. Get rid of that. Let's make this a width of 2, a height of 500, 600. Here we go. Here's my team dividing line. Looks a little silly next to the key, so I might make this stop there-ish. There we go. So let's now do team. Let's do we've got our team name here, so let's say button it's my button ID team plus corners. Here we go. Just gotta go to the old button about here, rename name. There we go. So that will change depending on what I have here. And I mean, it's not caps like everything else, so maybe I'll just change these to there we go, and pass frequency chart. So first of all, I want to actually just put how many corners there were, so let's just do corner count, something very basic. And then we're going to have a stat here for just the amount of corners they had. Name, let's go row equals button name team plus corners, corner kick, lowercase k, show count instances where row equal row. Copy and paste that down to get me my video, and I'm going to temporarily pause there for a second. Righty, I'm back. So we got our total number of corners here. Now let's kind of get some, you know, basic stats from corners here. So let's do swing. Let's do side. And well, that's not going to really help either, because these are going to be, this x-axis will change, so that might not be particularly helpful. So what I might need to do instead we might need to do it. Might need to do one separate for each one. So we might just do swing, side, I guess distance, but I want to know what the short distance is called. We could also do, there is a short. And we'll do distance then. There's only one long, everything else is medium, so it makes me think that, oh, so we won't do long. So why do we have placing and target area, and they're both the same thing? So what we'll do is we'll do just swing and side, and then everything else will be in our kind of like corner by corner analysis. So let's bring this up. I'm going to go variable we're going to go left, we're going to go right, we're going to go in swing, and we're going to go out swing. And we might do opposition corners next to it, because our kind of play-by-play corner here is going to be quite like wide. So to compensate from at least a design perspective how wide that's going to be, we might do like the opposition corners here, because we don't really need to, we don't necessarily care about the we don't necessarily care about the other team's kind of play-by-play. Well, I mean, it could be something of interest, but I'm not going to bother with it in this window. So we'll just focus on Columbus Crew, opposition, and then play-by-play or corner-by-corner for the team, primary team here. So what is the swing called? The swing is the rotation away from goal towards goal. I'm going to guess is the in-swinger. I might need to download a couple more games to figure that out. So let's actually do timeline, go test 2. I don't want that. Let's go file, import. Let's go Cincinnati. See if we get an in-swinger in here. Corner kick, towards goal. So I was right. See if we get a short or anything like that as well. No, still just a bunch of mediums, a bunch of high kicks. Target area, still the same. Alrighty, so towards goal, away from goal, and then there's other, we'll just ignore other. So let's go here, let's go row equals button name team plus corner kick. We're going to do something really interesting for the other team as well here soon, so stay tuned for that, I guess. Anyway, so let's go. Total count instances where row equal team or row. I'm going to go something generic equals count. This is going to be in swinger, so towards goal where row equals row. The reason I'm doing both the total and the variable is because I'm going to show like the percentage of corners that are in swingers. So I'm going to go percentage equals round. Do my typical percentage scripting here. And I want that's on a show var plus this. I want to show so what we should get is a nice little 3 of 75%. Remember, this is reading the timeline, not the sorter, so that's why it's got just the 3 instead of like all the other ones that are in here, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we just need to copy the same for the A outswing. So this will not be towards goal, this will be away from goal. Copy and paste that down here. There we go, which is 1. And then we just need to do the same thing with the side. So left, it's just going to be left. Seems like they've been double tagged, so we won't put the label prefix before the word. So we just get the instances with label, not labels and instances. And let's go right. There we go. Really? Let's check that. Left, 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 right. Okay, so that is correct. Just the same as the swinging above. Now let's go do the opposition. And the opposition color is going to be color 2, and therefore needs to be white font. So here's what we're going to do for the away team. First of all, I want to rename this just opposition corners. So if we want to run this output window across multiple games, so the crew play Cincinnati, the crew play Minnesota, the crew play Nashville, whatever, this is obviously going to stay the same because it's still going to be Columbus Crew corners, and that's not going to be different because they're going to be called the Columbus Crew in every timeline that it looks over. However, because the other team is not called opposition, they're called the other team, so Cincinnati, Nashville, whatever. When we want to get the total count of instances over multiple games, we actually have to do something a little bit more creative, because we don't want to script for like every possible team that the crew might play. We just want to get every other team that they are playing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, instead of button name team corner kick, we're going to go quotation mark, full stop, and then star. And when what we're doing, and especially when we then go right click and use regular expression, that regular expression toggle, when combined with this exact syntax, is going to pull every instance that has the corner kick suffix at the end of it. But that it also includes the Columbus Crew. So what we need to do as well now is, let's go total row. Let's go, oh, what am I doing? Let's go home. It's not home, let's go primary row. Let's go button name team plus corner kick. We want to count instances where row equals total row. We also then want to count the instances where row equals the Columbus Crew. And what we want to do is we want to show total count, which is going to include the Columbus Crew, minus the primary count. Oh. What I might do is I will get rid of these. Let's do that. Let's do that. And then for the video, we want to show total count, not primary count. So just using our boolean and or not function. So if I not, what have I done wrong here? And not. There we go. -4. Well, that's not right. Let's see what we've done wrong. Some nice little... So they've had 4 corners. The crew have also had 4 corners. So ideally this should equal 4 as well. So this is going to get every corner kick. It's getting the crew. Count instances, count, let's count. What happens if we just get rid of, let's go show, count, primary row. We get 4. Let's go total count. This should equal 8. It equals 0, so that's why we're getting that -4. But why are we getting -4? What am I getting wrong here? Oh. No? I think I've overcomplicated it. I think I've added more rows than I need to. I think that's what my issue is. I don't think I need this. So let's get rid of that. And this should be here. Corner kick. That's still right. There we go. So now when we go to this, here we go. Alright, so we got there eventually. Regular expression scripting can be a little bit finicky. Looks like we just needed to simplify it by just having the regular expression right into the count syntax, or the instances syntax here. Annoyingly then, we now have to do that for like the rest of these. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to copy that, come here, just paste that in for a second, and let's just analyze this really quick. Because we essentially need to do everything twice. Once for the total and once for the primary team, so we can remove the primary team from the total. So I've made this again more complicated than I need to. Let's get rid of that. This will be towards goal, where row equals all corner kicks. And then we can copy and paste this down. So now we need the total. I understand that I'm repeating myself here a little bit. will be total, total, primary, total. And then here we can do var equals that, and the total can equal this minus this, and then everything else can stay the same. Except for this last one, this will be good point. Need to put count, 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 and count. Because down here I need to put show total variable and not a primary variable. Oh. Towards a goal. So these are literally all in swingers, and I have a 0, so that's not ideal. So let's see what I did wrong. Oh, I need to do this. That's why. There we go. That didn't help either. Alrighty, let's analyze what we've done. So we've got our corner kicks. Total, so count towards goal where row equals corner kick. Count towards goal where row equals crew. Instances where row equals every one corner kick. Instances where row equals Columbus Crew corner kick. And then we're removing one from the other. Removing one from the other variables. Is that confusing? That shouldn't confuse it. These are also all from the left. Well, that worked. Works on the left. Which makes me think I spelled towards wrong. The classic scripting error. There we go. So this will be undi. There we go. Let's do the other side. It's always something stupid. By always something I mean me being stupid, so what was the other one called? Away from goal. And then this will be the same as this, just with right. And these will be 0%. -1. Why is this always more complicated than it needs to be? Why is it -1? Can we not have 0? So I cut out about 8 minutes of me humming and hawing, wondering why this script here wasn't working. It's because, again, the answer is always the easiest one. My dumb ass didn't right click to use regular expression, which was like kind of the whole thing that was making this work. So once I did that, shocking, it worked. So let's do use regular expression. Here we go. 3. Wow. Shocking. It works when you actually do what you're supposed to do. So we're back. So my crew corners, my opposition corners using that regular expression to pull everything from multiple games. for example, let's go, since we're in the same timeline, let's do custom selection. We got multiple crew games here, multiple opposition games, yet it's going to pull all of the opposition corners no matter what. Look at that. How fun. So, let's just go back to the front. Now we can do our kind of like play-by-play script here. So I'm going to go to the corner kicks again and put them in a sorter. What we're trying to create basically is the sorter. Don't know why I cut off weirdly some of my columns here. There it is. What I'm trying to create basically is the sorter, but like of just the things I care about. So just the, for example, like rotation, recipient, side, the distance, things like that. So what I'm going to do then is take this. We could do something similar for the free kicks as well. Let's call this table. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the one here on the very left just be a number, but this number is going to have the video on it. So 1, we actually do need the kind of like titles of these. There we go. So there's my number. I'm then going to do these don't have to be 50, these can be, let's go 100. This is now going to be the distance. We're then going to do the STS evaluation. I'm going to put STS there because it doesn't mean that's actually true. Let's go. I think the taker is probably more relevant. Oh, another pause. Right, I'm back. So this is going to be the taker. So the taker, the distance, the STS evaluation, whatever that means. We want to go, we want to have recipient. If I can spell it, recipient. And we want to go well, I want target area. Target area. I think I might sacrifice the. No, we'll keep distance, and then this might just need to be longer because this one apparently we've got a center center outside box, which is a pretty long thing here. Recipient also might need to be longer because these names might be long. So you can see here I don't have the side or the swing. See this thing? I don't know if I really care about STS evaluation. Let's just put side. Alrighty. I don't have the swing, but that's alright. So what I want to do with these is I want to make these bigger. Just go 125. That's already way too big, so let's go to 115. It's too small, so let's go to 120. Oh, so close. Just one of them needs to get bigger, so let's give target area 1 pixel more. Now the scripting from here will be pretty easy. So here we've got one. I'm going to go, this game had 4 corners, but obviously you might have more than 4 corners. Actually, before we do that, we need to take that in consideration. So let's go row. Oh, I need to identify the we're going to be using the limit function instances where row equals row limit. And the limit of the function allows us to identify just a single instance. So the limit 01 is going to be skip one, take the next one. So it's going to be the first instance. And here we're going to put count limit where row equals row if count equals 0, button opacity 0, button, if we want to go 0 we'll go 15, button opacity 100. Will that actually work? Apparently. What if I go to 5? Yep, sweet. That's exactly what I wanted. Let's go back to 1, right? So, the taker. Let's copy all of this. So, string. We're not going to be using a unique string, we'll just be using normal string, which is going to be row, sorry, it's going to be limit, and then in the group we're going to be putting the player group, which is in my case here player. We want to rename, well there won't be one, so rename. No, there might be one, so if string equals nothing, rename nothing, rename string. Everything else should be the same. Good. Now I just have to follow this pattern all the way down. So distance should be distance. Side will be side. Should just take the first one. Side is such a small thing, so we can probably cram 2 in here. So let's go side. Okay. Swing. And what we're going to do here is, that's not how copy and paste works. Let's take this. And we're going to take this as rotation. So saying if string equals towards goal. Oh, another pause. Alrighty, we're back again. So I understand this is very stop-start, but we're doing this between different work calls and other things. You'll see the date has probably changed 1,000 times since we've started this. Yeah, bear with me. Just move that across a little bit so it's evened up. Anyway, so we're up to here. We're up to the swing of a particular corner. Let's open up my sorter again. We have rotation as our swing. Now I remember before I stopped this, we already have rotation there towards goal. I don't know why I have it like this. That doesn't make any sense. Should be the other way around. Should be that. There we go. But the problem is that towards goal is too long. So what I'm going to change is I'm going to say, okay, if it equals in swing, or towards goal, rename it in swing. If it's called away from goal, rename it like out. So just going to be in and out. So what I'm going to do is, we've got these little string things here, so I'm going to say towards. That's probably why I had it here. Towards goal. Rename in. And then this is going to be at the end of this. And then we're going to copy and paste that down. And if it's away from goal, this is going to be out. Close that there. So towards goal. Just make sure I've got that spelling right. Can I spell? I cannot spell. There we go. In. So that'll be there. This one is going to be less complicated. This one's just going to be recipient. So copy and paste that in. Oh boy, there we go. Recipient, and then target area. It's also going to be self-explanatory. Target area. I might need to copy this, paste in. And target area. There we go. So I'm going to make this white to differentiate it from the number at the left. And now I just have to essentially copy and paste this down and change the 01 to 11. But to do that, I'm going to use this so I'm just replying to something on my right. There we go. New code window. So we want to replace comma 1 with 1, 1. People who do a lot of scripting will tell you that find and replace is the greatest thing in Sportscode because it saves a lot of time. It genuinely is like an absolute lifesaver, so I don't have to go through each button and re-script it with the correct limit function. I can just do this. Yes, I still have to do this, which is still going to take some time, but it's going to be significantly quicker. Like not even close to being how slow it could possibly be. So there was definitely 4 corners from the crew in this game. So we'll do a 5th, and then we'll stop to evaluate what it looks like. Before I do that, we need to go back through here and change this to 2, 3, 4. This is quicker just doing it manually, just changing the 1 number. So in theory, this should go invisible, which it did, or partially invisible, which was kind of intended. I don't want it to go fully invisible just so I can still see it. So when I do other things down here, that it's not in the way. And then I've got all of my other ones up here, so I can see, oh, this 3rd corner was from the right hand side. It was an outswinger. Sean was the one who received it outside the box in the center. So there's still a couple more, because if we do multi-game analysis, we kind of want their room to be some more slots here for more possible corners. Plus there's going to be games obviously where you have more than 4 or 5 corners, so let's keep doing this down. And because it's invisible, we can still see it, fortunately. Oh. How this limit function works is that the first number is saying how many clips to skip. So 5,1 is saying skip 5 and take the next one, so it'd be the 6th clip. So 6, 7, 1, so this is the 8th clip. I mean, the easy way to remember that, of course, is you just add the 2 numbers together. There's like other ways you can do limit functions. You can do like negative numbers and things like that. I'm still learning a lot about limit functions and how they operate. There's still some ways that I didn't even know were possible to use the limit function. But the use cases haven't come up to really try those out yet. So what we'll do is I think we'll do 15 slots, which is going to take up a lot of this window to the right, but if we have multiple games, it will look really nice where we have all those corners present. So this is 11. This is 12. $13. $14, and then we'll do one more after this, and that'll be our full table. Here we go. That's 14. Oh, sorry, 15. And we have our full table here. I just have to now go through and go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc. Which fortunately won't be as long. And we need to figure out what we want to do next. We can look at free kicks possibly. I looked at free kicks off the recording at one point and I saw that there wasn't really the same level of data. I was going to try and be fancy and have like a toggle up here somewhere where you could switch between this view of being corners and free kicks, but there just wasn't the same level of data or the same interesting data to do that. So here's my corner table. Now let's look at what else we have. I mean, we will do goals, obviously. We need to do goals. And to be honest, I'll probably move all of this down. And we'll probably put goals and stuff up here because that will be probably, you know, the most important stuff up the top. But before we do that, let's look at free kicks. So we can see here that free kicks don't really have the same stuff. In fact, they've got some really weird other additional data for every random free kick. We've got distance, obviously, but we don't actually have... What the heck is all this on the fifth clip? There's just so much more of this information that I don't really... You know, it's a free kick that ended in a shot, but there's nothing really... It's not a consistency of data that I really am interested in, so we might just do, you know, how many direct free kicks they had or something like that. The other one that I wanted to look at was goal kick. What sort of data do we have in goal kick? Distance. So we do have distance. So we could do something around that. I just want to see if we got anything else on goal kicks. So we do have longs. What we might do here is just like a little... we might do something on goal kicks, free kicks, and, you know, goals. Probably shot on goal as well. I feel like shot on goal is probably a little bit relevant. Is there anything in free kicks? Throw-ins, sorry. Throw-ins, I don't think we really care about throw-ins. I don't really care about throw-ins. So that'll be the plan. We'll do goals, goal kicks, free kicks, and then I think that'll be us done, other than just some, you know, other playing around. So let's have a look. So let's do goals. We'll take this and we're going to make it smaller. Do we want to make it any smaller? No. We'll do goals, and we're going to make this grey. Remove the script. And we're going to instead make this yellow. And we're going to call this rename team. This will be Columbus Crew. It's going to be too big, but we can make this particular stat much smaller. Because I am really finicky about sizes, we'll make this 50, a nice easy big number, and we'll make this bigger. There we go. Copy and paste this down. And this will be opposition. This will not be yellow, this will be 2. Rename nothing at all. And this is going to be, the text is going to be white. What I might do as well is over here somewhere I'm going to say like primary color and like put in brackets, you know, lighter color, and then secondary color will be dark, because we're making the font colors here always like, you know, white or black depending on the color of the thing. So I want to make sure that if they make their away color like white, that they still see the word, you know, opposition, for example. Now here I want to go team. Is it just goal? Yep, goal. And then for this one, I'm going to do our regular expression again. So let's take this, throw it in there, goal. Make sure I turn regular expression on this time. Don't want to go through the rigmarole of what I went through earlier, trying to figure out why my thing wasn't working, and I just stupidly didn't turn on regular expression. So 2 to 1. Let's see if that's accurate. So they have 1 goal. Cincinnati have 2 goals. Makes sense. So that's our goals. we want shot on goals. I don't like this big space, but I don't know if we will, we might run out of room, so just need to move this down a little bit more. This will be shots on goal. And this will be just copying and pasting shot at goal. Shot at, where is it going? Just one, need to make sure my case is correct. And this one will be regular expression again, which it is. (13 to 9). So we can double check that. So let's do this one here, just 9 clips. 9 clips. This needs to be moved to the right a little bit, so it's in line with this. Alrighty, so now let's do, we want to do what we're doing, goal kicks and free kicks. So let's do goal kicks. This time this will be just Columbus, so we're going to rename this again to, I'm going to do this route. Where's it going? Goal kick. We might go goal kicks. So I don't know why that needs to be lowercase k, because it doesn't. There we go. And this is going to be gray, and this is going to be called count. This is going to be called in swinger. Sorry, not in swinger. Short. Scripting for these needs to be deleted. And then the last one will be, need to make this black. Not the last one, we've got 2 more. We'll have medium and long. Now I want to make these smaller. Make these 75. These ones here longer, because when I was doing a count, we're going to do like a count and a percentage. So this one will be a count. Goal kick. Not going to do anything else to that one. 5. Here we're going to get rid of all of this. Turn off regular expression, and this is going to be, well, I'll take this again, thank you, and it's going to be show count short, where row equals row. Some very basic scripting here, just some show count and show scripts, and it's going to be the same here. It's going to be medium and medium, and then this last one will be long and long. Actually, I just told you this is going to be percentages, so what am I doing? Completely not paying attention here at all. So let's go variable equals count total equals count instances where row equals row. So I don't want to show the round, so percentage equals round. want to show var plus little break plus percentage, and then this is all the same. So let's copy now all of this and go medium, medium, and this will be long and long. There we go. So now I get a more, comprehensive analysis. Let's go back to goal kick, see what else we have in here in case we want to add anything. No, just flat. I don't really care about the evaluation. The event I already know, the player, the recipient maybe, but I don't have to go through all the recipient stuff. So we'll just stay with this. And then the last one we wanted to do was free kicks. So that'll be kind of like similar to this. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's make this free. Let's go direct free kicks. Free kick, show count, direct, where row equals row. We have 15. That seems like a lot. Let's double check that. 16. Yeah, all of them were direct but one, so that makes sense. I wish there was like a label here for location, or like location third, but there does not appear to be, so let's go with 15. And then in here we have all of this gibberish. So regular expression is on, free kick, but we want to go direct, 6. That seems like a little bit too few, especially well, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all of these are, I assume, are direct, which they were. Alrighty, so I did all of that, everything that I said I was going to do. Got through that pretty quick. So is there anything else that we care about? I mean, some of the stuff is just really weirdly inaccurate, like run. We have 1 run in the entire game. We have 4 interceptions. We have, foul drawns. We could just put fouls if we wanted to. Oh, we'll do crosses. That's a relatively important stat. Let's see what sort of information we have in crosses. Well, some of these are corner kicks, so I'll exclude the corner kicks. I don't really think I care about the rotation. Or the placing. So let's just make sure we do not corner kicks. We could also just do from open play as true, but we can't really use true because true is over here, so we'll just do not corner kicks. So let's do crosses. Line it up with this one. Lined up. So let's do crosses. Here we're going to say count not corner kick. Sorry, not corner kick, where row equals cross. And then this one will be cross, cross, and we're going to go not corner kick, and not corner kick. Let's come over here. Let's make this light, and this will be dark. What happened at the end of that? There we go, dark. So that way, it's like a little hint they should always be light and dark colors. So to be honest, I might move this over here. I might add a little note to say that this is off screen ranking. Do it a whoop-de-doo. And I think that might be it. So this is my final output here. So we have our player selection for our stats, KPIs, and passing chart. And then we have our team stats over here. We have some basic KPIs, which I might move over just to center with this corner chart. And then below that we have our set piece analysis for corners specifically. So last couple touches, I'm going to make this longer to get to the bottom of our corner chart. And I also might add a second line here to break up the corner chart as well, but I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm going to do 500 and 2. I'm going to make it all the way across. I'm just going to make it like a little break. There we go. So that's my output window. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. You can also send me an email. I'll leave my email down there in the comments. But appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully that was interesting and you learned a few things as we went through our scripting here. Catch you guys later.